Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be going through a few ways that you can define and find your personal style. Before you can take inspiration from somebody else, you gotta know what you like in the first place. So if you would like to see how to define your personal style, then just continue watching. Before we get into that, hello, my name is Seyi and this is the Daily Seyi. On this channel, my goal is to help you look good and feel seen. And of course, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in and being a real one. So the first tip I always tell people when they're trying to figure out how to define their own personal style, I would say to scroll on Pinterest. Pinterest has steadily become one of my favorite social media platforms simply because it is a search engine and it's everything at your fingertips for trying to find what it is that you like when it comes to anything. I would say every fashion person is posting on Pinterest. Magazines, clothing brands, they're all on Pinterest. So you can definitely find Pinterest to be like a go-to source. When I'm on Pinterest, usually I will just take a while to scroll. You do want to take time to curate your feed because when you open Pinterest at any other time, it'll make sure that you're being fed the things that you actually like. This takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, but once you do, your feed will be top notch and you will find yourself actually going to Pinterest. Like I'm on Pinterest basically every single day, especially as a creator because I pour out a lot. I feel like I do still need to be poured into. And yes, I get my inspiration from different people on Instagram and TikTok, but to be honest, I love the non-noisiness of Pinterest. Like I love not seeing any comments. People can comment on Pinterest, but I personally like not seeing any comments. I just like scrolling and kind of being one with the app, getting my creative juices flowing, or just again getting inspiration and just figuring out different ways to work other things in my closet. I go to Pinterest. If you found pieces that you're like, oh, I really like the way that looks, but like I don't really know how to style it or what I will style it with, I would say just type in keywords. Pinterest will give you pages upon pages upon pages of inspo, but then they also have these features where you can sort of filter out what kind of style or what kind of theme or what kind of like aesthetic you're going for, which I also do like. I think that they have mastered their search engine and making it make more sense for people who are probably just like newbies, new users to the app and are just like, I literally don't even know what I'm really looking for, but like Pinterest will help you figure out what you're looking for. And what I like to do is save some of my favorite like looks to a public board. But what this really helps me do is kind of identify what I really like. You want to make sure that you're looking at things that really kind of spark a level of like, ooh, curiosity, interest, joy. I'm always keeping that in mind when I'm scrolling through Pinterest. Like if I take a moment to stop and I'm like, ooh, and I actually take the time to like save that to a public board, that means to me that clearly I like what I'm seeing. Now I want to give a quick disclaimer. Like I'm not saying that you can go on Pinterest or you should go on Pinterest and just copy paste. I mean, you definitely can. You can. I mean, nobody's going to stop you. But I will say when you're finding out what your personal style is, it is going to take some like fine tuning and some trial and error as far as you like pinning what you like, what you don't like. My second tip on trying to figure out your personal style is figuring out what kind of fabrics you like. Different fabrics obviously require different levels of money. Let's be honest, okay? 100% silk is gonna cost you a pretty penny. But the beauty of the fashion industry is that there have been, I would say, I guess, man-made versions of all these fabrics that are great alternatives to a natural version. If you're somebody who's looking to elevate your wardrobe, but you also are not trying to break the bank, but you still wanna take the time to invest in different pieces, I would definitely say look at the alternatives of your favorite kind of fabrics. So for example, weave and silk is a process that takes a very long time, which is why the price point is always the price point that it is. We know silk costs a lot of money to make, or just costs a lot of time and effort and labor to make. On the flip side of that, there is viscose. So viscose is essentially like artificial silk. The look and feel of it is very similar to real silk. And on top of that is also cheaper. It is also cheaper. Personally, I love silk just because of the way it flows. I love a silk dress, skirt. Like I've mentioned in other videos, I love like bias cut silk skirts, bias cut silk dresses. I just think that they just work really, really well for me and like my body shape. But I do really like linen. Linen can range from, affordable to, more expensive, or you can find linen blend. That's another like affordable option where there's some other sort of fabrics and materials kind of weaved into the linen. So it's not 100% linen, but you still kind of get the linen look and feel. I really love like kind of like sheer mesh fabric. Love that as well. Breathable, airy. You'll realize like the fabrics you kind of gravitate towards also sort of define the pieces that you start to like add to your wardrobe or the pieces that you find yourself really loving when you see them either out in real life. And kind of to piggyback off of that, point 3 would be figuring out what kind of silhouettes you like when you are getting dressed. So I don't know if I've mentioned on here before, but I've definitely mentioned it on my social media that I love kind of like small top, big bottom situation. And to me, that usually means like a more fitted top and a more looser, relaxed bottom. But also I really like big top, big bottom. I really like that sort of like oversized look. I personally am somebody who likes a bit of structure with a bit of flow. When I think of silhouette, sometimes I think of like, there's like a boho aesthetics that some people have. You can tell that silhouette is definitely more flowy all around. Like everything is pretty flowy. And then there's some people who are like more structured range, where a lot of their pieces are like a little bit more angular. The different cuts of the pieces are a bit more structural. Boho and structural to me are two different vibes. Those are two different silhouettes. So point 4 is a piggyback to point 3, and that is understanding your body type. I have a more athletic build. Now, as I've matured and gotten older, I filled out in different areas, but the kind of essence of my body is still pretty much the same. I have more broad shoulders and I have a short torso. I have long legs. And so these are things that I'm always keeping in mind when I am shopping. And I also have a wider rib cage. Because I have a wider rib cage, there are just certain pieces of clothing, tops, dresses that simply either do not flatter me at all or simply will not fit. And it's not any reason on my own. Like, sure, you know, people can lose weight, do all the things, but like my rib cage just naturally is wider. So it doesn't matter how much weight I lose, certain types of dresses or certain types of tops that are constructed in a certain way simply will not fit, no matter the size I am in, just because the cut just is not meant for like a wider rib cage and or a broad shoulder. There's just certain silhouettes that I just know personally on me, because I have a short torso, just does not work with my short torso. A great example, I did this TikTok video a while ago, and I'll try to insert the video here, where I was talking about how I bought these pants from the Frankie shop. When I saw them on the bottom, I was like, I want them to look exactly like this. They were sort of like mid to low rise, and they kind of hit like at her ankle. And I was like, perfect, I've been looking for a pant like that. I want these, so I bought them. Tried them on, and I was like, this looks absolutely nothing like what it looked like on the model. Me and the model's proportions were widely different. What I realized is that that model had, I believe, a longer torso and shorter legs. I have a short torso and long legs. What was mid to low rise on her was basically high-waisted on me. But because I have longer legs, the bottom of the pant was jumpy on me, basically right below my calf. So that's why I say I do believe that proportions is a large part of finding the pieces that actually will work for you. Like some of my favorite influencers, I'm like, you guys are so short. I realized, because I remember I would buy things and I'll be like, how come this is not flowing on me the way it's flowing on you? And it's because the girls are kind of short, but I am 5'8". So, and that's not even like super tall. Even when I share stuff online, I tell people, I'm like, I'm 5'8", y'all. So if you're shorter than me, whatever I'm wearing right now is going to drag on you. Or if you are taller than me, then it may not look this way. Now follow other influencers who are in the tall range, and I'm like, okay, I see their body types, even if they are smaller than me or bigger than me, it doesn't matter, because our body proportions are very similar. So whatever they're showing me, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can actually get that. And I guess another caveat will be finding people, if you are like interested in influencer, you know, fashion influencer content, finding people who has your similar body type. I think that's really important. You may be wondering like why certain things don't look the way you think they should look, and it's likely just because your proportions are different than what you're imagining it to be. My next point is to put together some fits at home. When you finally go shopping and you get the items and they're sitting in your closet, take some time to just get dressed at home. Don't go anywhere. You don't gotta go anywhere. I do that to this day. As much as I love getting dressed, as many outfits as I have put together, as many outfit inspo as I have shared across the internet, to this day, it don't matter. I'm still gonna put together an outfit just for the sake of taking a picture in the mirror and being like, okay, let me remember that. Put it in the back of my head, my little wardrobe arsenal in my mind, because there are moments where you know you want to wear something and you're just like, maybe you're stumbling or you're just like running blank. You're just like, I don't know what I want to wear, but I know I can find something cute. And then you remember like, oh, right, I put that outfit together. That happens to me very frequently. Maybe a little more frequently than I like to admit, but it happens to me very frequently enough where I'm always happy that I remembered that I put something together. Even when I share outfit inspo on here, a lot of times this is great for me too. Like it's kind of like a digital diary, because I'm just putting together outfits that I know I can wear and save for the future. If I ever feel stumped, I will literally go back to my channels, to my pages, and be like, what did I share on here? I've done that so many times and I'm like, oh, right, let me wear this outfit. But also putting together outfits at home would help you kind of get more comfortable again with figuring out what your personal style is. Like I have loved, and I still love, experimenting with stuff in my apartment and like the comfort of my home, and experimenting with the looks. I would not recommend, if you're just starting out finding out your personal style and then you just put something together and walk out the door, but now you're like, ooh, I don't know if I actually really like this. but you're outside now. So there's nothing you can do unless you want to come back home and change. But why are you going to do all that when you're already 30 minutes out? You're not doing that. Doing this stuff at home first is helpful because you can walk out the door feeling confident. I'm telling you, it's very evident when somebody is like exuding confidence. And a lot of times how we dress and how we present affects that. This is the time to experiment. Put together different pieces, tops, bottoms, dresses, skirts, mix and match things and see what is working and what is not working. See what you feel comfortable in. See and think about like, would I feel comfortable walking outside in this, or would I feel comfortable being outside in this? If not, go back to the drawing board. Start from square one and let's, start again. And then the final point is to come up with some style uniforms. If you are feeling stumped on what to wear, you already kind of have a uniform, a baseline of what you can wear. Like I mentioned, big top, big bottom, small top, big bottom. Like those are baselines, I would say. Those are silhouettes, but they can also be baselines. You can even go even more granular and even more specific. A wide leg jean and a blazer combo, I'm good. A wide leg pant and a blazer combo, I'm good. A wide leg bottom and a blazer combo, I'm good. It doesn't matter how I kind of remix it, because you can always remix it, but that's my template. And you can use that template and apply it to other things. Like you don't have to wear the exact same thing. Like I'm not saying have those same jeans and just make sure you wear those same jeans over and over and over again. I'm saying if you like how you looked when you wore a blazer and like a wide leg pant one day, then just wear another blazer and a wide leg jean, or another blazer and a wide leg short. Having the style uniform kind of helps you, establishes what your personal style is. And I don't think you need to necessarily define your personal style by like an aesthetic. Like I know I gave the example of like a boho aesthetic or like, kind of more structural, angular aesthetic, but you don't need to necessarily say like, oh, I'm like, a boho girl. Like you don't have to say that. You can just tell yourself like, okay, I know the kind of pieces I like, because there are some people I follow where they don't have a defined aesthetic, but I know when I see certain pieces, and I'm like, this person would likely wear something like that. Like somebody told me one day, which I thought was a biggest compliment, but she was like, I like how you wear different things, but it still falls in line with like your style. And I'm like, that is the best compliment, because literally, exactly. I like experimenting and I like trying out different things or trying out different silhouettes or, incorporating different fabrics and things like that. Especially now that I've become comfortable with what my personal style is, I'm okay with kind of veering out. But at the end of the day, the vibes are still the same. The vibes are still the same. Like there's still kind of like a central theme going on of what my personal style is. I know what I like and I know what I don't like. And so again, if you're ever in a stump or if you're ever in a moment where you're just like, oh my God, I'm frustrated, can't really figure this out right now, you can easily go back to your style uniform, which essentially is just going back to what your core personal style is. And it's okay for your personal style to change over time. I think that is completely normal. I think with age, maturity, time, space, wherever you are, location, like things just change, feelings change, opinions change. You may have figured out what your personal style was in your 20s and now you're in your 30s and you're like, we need to revisit. I appreciate y'all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the vibes here and you also just like getting fashion inspo, I would love it if you decide to subscribe. I love showing up for y'all and I finally feel like I'm in my groove. And as always, I will catch y'all in my next one. Until next time, bye.